Hello and welcome to today's historic Best of 3 deck tech and gameplay video on Temur Marvel. Temur Marvel uses the namesake card Aetherworks Marvel to cheat out big scary things basically earlier than they could, and hopefully we just sort of end the game by cheating out, 10 drops and the like a couple turns earlier. To do that, we use some of the best energy cards that the format has available, which is almost all of them, with cards like Attune with Aether, Servant Conduit, and Rogue Refiner, amongst a couple others. The new to the format card that made this deck sort of happen was one of my favorite, historic exclusive cards in Longtusk Stalker. Proof that we can sort of revisit energy and not immediately, break and bend and warp eternal formats. This is a lovely little additional energy consumer, and allows it to where if, say, we get poor hits off of the Marvel, or our opponent destroys it, or somehow manages to deal with our Marvel into big scary thing game plan, we can use the Stalker and the aforementioned creatures to sort of have a backup win con of just eventually bonking our opponent in the head with some small creatures. Land base, relatively self-explanatory. We run any basically Temur colored lands here that sort of allow us to early on hit the cards we need to hit. Of course, we have 4 ether hubs, not only as a form of color fixing, but again, every bit of energy that we can get squeezed into this deck, we will do, as the deck can activate Marvel on turn 4 and play it on turn 4, and actually use it. You can technically, with the Servant of the Conduit, activate the Marvel earlier than play the Marvel earlier than turn 4, but I do not believe in the couple weeks of testing there was a single way to activate Aetherworks Marvel any earlier than turn 3. So, with that all out of the way, sideboard cards, relatively self-explanatory. Some of the lower to the ground cards like Ferocidon and Clothis are pretty obvious cards both for life gain decks and for graveyard decks. The rest of the list the rest of the sideboard are things we bring in to suit any particular situation. Burn Down the House and Star of Extinction are just basically good sweepers, because as a combo deck, which is basically what this deck is, it can get ran over very easily. Chandra, Awakened Inferno, and Jin Cataxius are nice cards against control decks, since Chandra can't be countered and Jin Cataxius can sort of mess with our opponent's hand. A couple Fade from History, because there are loads of artifact heavy and enchantment heavy decks floating around, and a Titan of Ministry does a similar job to the Fade from History, but it's also just a generally good card. Sometimes you need life against aggressive decks, you need to, say, get rid of opposing artifacts and enchantments, or sometimes you just need a big body. Titan of Ministry is always a safe one to bring in. With all that out of the way, don't forget to like the video if you'd like to subscribe if you like my grab bag of content and would like to see more in the future. And if you have any sort of questions, I don't have X, what about Y? I shall do what I can to offer replacement advice, but honestly, the payoffs are pretty inflexible. These are just the best payoffs that the format has that are the most impactful when casting them on turn 4. There's not a whole lot of wiggle room, I gotta be honest here. This is not a budget-friendly list. Maybe you can make some sideboard changes, but the main deck is honestly not budget-friendly. Now, with all that out of the way, onto game number 1. And game number 1 with our little Temur Marvel list. Again, we go first because we have a brain. Ideally, we want a mulligan to have early sources of energy generation, or just, cards that aren't awful, like one land, or hands that aren't awful, like one-landers. We don't usually go lower than 5 cards, since that damn near obliterates the win condition, or the win possibilities of the list. I guess we'll get rid of the Harness Lightning, and just hope that we can out-linear our opponent here. This isn't great of an opener, since again, not only in this deck in particular, it's not great to mulligan down to 5. It's not great to mulligan down to 5 in any matchup, granted. Okay, some sort of Soul Sister style life game deck. Go ahead and play the Servant. Just try and cobble back a win out of this thing. Odds are we will be bringing in the Rampaging Ferocidon at minimum. Yeah, go ahead and get the Aether Hub. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get the... Or we'll cast Harness Lightning, getting rid of their Impassioned Orator. Yes, it's not great for energy generation, but at this stage we're just trying to... what's the word? Do as good as we can with the 5-card hand we had to start with. There's not really a whole lot of pizzazz to it. Let's see. Now, next turn. I mean, I suppose they're white. They could be running any number of, I would say naturalized, but that's the green version. I think it's called Disenchant in white. Many artifact hate for in Marvel, but there's no white, like, split-second cards, so we're going to get to cast this bad boy. Even if they happen to have a mana tide, or whatever it is, the 1-mana white counterspell, we accidentally, admittedly, left open mana to work around it. Ulamog is beautiful. Go ahead and get rid of the welcome and a land, because they haven't done a whole lot anyway. This will also get rid of their ability to, say, maybe play a Settle the Wreckage. That's a popular, pretty good sweeper to play on the ladder, anyway. Okay, he has priority for something, and did nothing. Okay, I don't know what's happening. Okay. Yeah, and sometimes, as you will imagine from the nature of Marvel, sometimes you hit the you hit the lottery, you pull that slot machine, baby, and like do good things, and sometimes you don't. And that time we just happen to do pretty good. Ferocidons are going to come in. I don't think my gut sort of wants to bring in some stars and burn down the houses, but let's not overcorrect right now. I think we'll get rid of one Valakut Awakening and maybe a Rogue Refiner, so we don't mess with the curve of the deck too much. Hopefully, the reason why we ended up not, or the reasons we ended up not taking out the, or bringing in the sweepers and taking out something, was that we like have cards like Ugin that should hopefully serve as main board hate, because we didn't really see that much of what the deck was trying to do either. This hand's sort of turning around. Make sure I'm still recording. Good. That would have felt particularly silly. Yeah. Pretty good. Go ahead and play a Servant. Now, we're admittedly not on curve to cast and activate the Marvel on turn 4, which isn't great. We need some of the 1-drop, either the Marvel or the Longtusk on turn 1 in like a very energy-heavy hand in order to do that. But it was good enough. We're already up a game, let's not like throw away a win. We'll go ahead and play the Stomping Ground tapped, and play the other Servant of the Cosmos. Yeah, we'll go ahead and attack the Basriquette. We're cool with losing the Servant. We also just want to keep Basriquette off of the ultimate for as long as possible. Anything beyond that is extra. If they go to attack with the Lunarch Veteran, that's not great, but that's fine. If they go to attack, we can just kind of let it through, honestly. Next turn, we will almost certainly be playing the Marvel regardless. Oh, nothing up. There we go. Play the Marvel. I would have to. I would spend 2 energy. That to get 2. Okay, so I'm not going down energy. Or if you at home want to pilot this deck, you want to do what you can to not like go down energy. You always want to be increasing the meter, or at minimum maintaining parity. Now, of course, every once in a while, you'll have to kill a creature with like a Harness Lightning for a buttload. Of course, barring those very corner case scenarios, like you don't want to, like we said, you want to keep that rule. Again, if you're gonna die, don't die. Do what you got to, but oh boy, this isn't great. The Ugins being in our hand isn't the most ideal, admittedly. If we had some of the volcanic spites or whatever those are, or if it was game 1 and we still had the, what's it called? If we still had the Valakut Awakening, we could always throw the cards back. This is very not good. So now we're just going to try and chump block to not die, really. That is about, damn, that's about all one can hope for. Just block the biggest thing on their board. Not gonna go great. Oh man, those all would have been really good to hit. Okay, we're gonna play the Marvel, the second one, as both will exist on the field at one point in time. So they will each trigger off of the, each one will trigger the other, or will trigger off of them leaving, if that makes sense. So now we just have to spin the wheel and hopefully we hit something. Cosmic is something, it's just not, like, great. Okay, so our original plan, we need to bring in sweepers now that I know. I had inklings beforehand, but this is one of those, we had time to, like, we had turns off to, like, do that. Of course, we can block with our whole board, and if he manages to kill it all, we do get another spin with the wheel. That has to be said. Let's see. Yeah, go ahead and make the world's biggest, scariest board, admittedly. It's not great, but I think we're going to be okay. Depending on where he sends these. I think we live, right? So Kozlek in front of the unicorn. I guess it determines on where he, like, sets his counters at. It's not going great. It has to be said. Boy. Oh boy. So yeah, Kozlek will die. Throw.
My sand will protect you.
Hold on, how much mana do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could get. No, that's. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How do I not die here? So we need to go to blockers. Blocking the unicorn. I'm at 10 life. He's attacking with. I can take 9 damage. But I can't take 9 damage and also cast the Ugin, can I? Okay, so I could. How do I let this through? So, blocking a 5 is not even in question. So we do. It's not great. We're not the biggest fan of that. So in that case, if we have to. Yeah, so we won't be able to, no matter what we do, we won't be able to naturally cast the Ugin. So better to just sit here and try and hit big. Probably not going to matter. Admittedly. Okay, that's actually kind of good. We don't want to hit too many big things. Yeah, I guess we just marvel and hope. That's all one can hope to do. Yep, and sometimes you just hit very poorly. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and wait for all the triggers. Yeah. Sometimes things do get stuck in your hand, and that's not what this deck wants. So Burn Down the House is coming in. Extinction's coming in. We're bringing in a lot of non-permanents, so we're going to cut the Genesis ultimatums. As those only trigger off of permanents. Or, you can only hit permanents with a Genesis ultimatum. And if we now have diluted our permanent count by introducing 4 sorcery speed sweepers, that's just more, like, wrinkle room for our spins to go bad. Again, we didn't have a turn 1 energy play, but we have a turn 2. We have a sideboard card in the Ferocidon. It's good enough that we're not going to look a gift horse in the mouth and just run it. Yeah, take your life. I'll take my energy. Everything's cool. Next turn, play an island and a Ferocidon, almost guaranteed. They didn't appear to run that much, like, interaction. Unless they were just holding it, which was possible. That's helpful, but a Ferocidon is that important. You know, we will go ahead and tune with Ether. Why not? I think we'll probably get another blue as just to round out our color access. Doesn't terribly matter. We sort of got what we need for the most part. That's good. Can't gain life. Also good. Okay, this is really good just for, if nothing else, buying us time. Okay, we keep on drawing our big stuff. Maybe we'll find... Yeah, we do take damage from this. It's not great. Hopefully we can find something. Marvel's good. We can do that. Okay, so... We don't have the 6th required mana for the Marvel, which isn't great. Not bad. Oh, thank God we do the hub. Yet another reason why Gator Hub is fantastic. Spin the wheel, see what we get. That's not great, but I weirdly, I like my board. I don't want to sweep that if it can be avoided. So I think we're gonna attack with the Refiner and the Conduit. We gotta start, like, chipping into their life total somehow. Now, if we were really behind, in reference to our Marvel pull, if we were really behind and we say didn't have a Ferocodon and, like, an okay board, okay, maybe there's an argument there. But we're in an okay spot that I don't feel the need to, like, panic that much. Yes. Something. Yeah, go ahead and exile it. So they did run some form of interaction. Granted, they don't gain life. Because we have Harnessed Lightning. I guess we can Harness Lightning on the Soul Warden. Paying 1. Netting some energy. And because our Ferocodon has Menace, we can just go ahead and attack the Emperor. Yes, they could play another one. And immediately just exile our Ferocodon. 100% a possibility. But this is one of those. I'm going to try and work in the realm of here and now. Not beyond it. It's a life gain for you. They are pinging themselves a considerable amount. We are sadly really far off with our, we're not that far off. It takes us to 7. We're not going to attack now because he could block. Triple block our Ferocodon and kill it. I suppose now, if nothing else, we pardon. Life total, upkeep. We're equal to noted life total. Note, cast life spell. What? Oh, okay, draw it. Okay, this is really not good. We need to, like... Oh, man, we need some removal. Like, the Spites would be great. If nothing else, a Harnessed Lightning, maybe giving it a spin on the wheel. Star of Extinction is something. It's not great, but it's something. So we have a panic button. We can just wipe the board out if it gets a little too big, or if he removes our Ferocodon, or anything like that. Which is nice. Please stop. Okay, that's better. See, 2, 4, 6, 7. One more, we get Ugin. And if we get Ugin, we're in a better spot. The Cleric class. Again, doesn't gain life, which is very nice. Now, luckily if he spends all of his mana on his level 2, with my Ferocodon on the board, that doesn't even trigger, which is nice. Pretty good. Give me a land. I'll take a tapped land. I don't give a shit. Just give me a land, please. So no more life for you. Okay, that's not a land, but that's something. This is gonna seem weird, but I actually am gonna Harness Lightning for 0, just getting 3 for the Marvel spin here and see what we can find. That's not great. It's really not good. Fucking shit, that sucks. I guess Marvel? Get some more energy out of it. Again, just sit on it. If the board gets a little sketchy, it's not gonna go great. Give me one more land and I will Ugin this whole board away. I'll end this whole man's career. Yeah, that'll do it. I guess we get rid of the speaker. Oh, right, it does just come right back. That's true. I haven't seen that card in a really long time. Not going great. Come on, give me a land. That's not a land. Okay, so there's nothing we can do when we damn near die next turn. So, we just have to blow up a land and it's not... They're all going to come back, aren't they? I didn't really consider that. They're just all going to immediately come right back, aren't they? I mean... It's not great. Fucking shit. Yeah, yep. I mean, if we drew one land, we were just going to Ugin their whole board. You know, we just didn't... Magic is, you know, like any card game, really, does have just a degree of luck. There's no way around it. But, you know, sometimes, like, especially with a deck like this, Aetherworks Marvel is just basically a Magic the Gathering slot machine. You just gotta put shit into it, pull the lever and pray. On top of sometimes just not hitting your 8th land. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and wait. Our opponent has won fair and square. I maintain that if I had the 8th land, the game would have been over. It would have been done right there. But that's fine. What are you gonna do? On to game number 2. And game number 2 with our little Temur Marvel list. This is a 1-lander and awful. That's better. We can do that. And we even have a turn 1 play for Longtusk Stalker. Go ahead and throw back the Ugin, as we would like to hit that one off of a Marvel we might draw. Ooh, that'd be ultimate arc. Plan is pretty self-explanatory. Go ahead and Stalker on 1. Go ahead and pay a Servant on 2. Do what we can to attack with our Stalker whenever we can to get some extra energy generation. Invasion Druid, but we can attack freely into that, so we're in. I will go ahead then, now that we drew the pathway, and play the pathway on green. I hear a cat meowing. Go ahead and attack. Again, they're going to block it 100%, but it's the damage we do to our opponent is secondary to just energy generation at this stage. You want to come and hang out with the old cat, Dad? Come on, I can hear you meowing. Abundant Harvest. Okay, so they're doing something to generate too. You don't really see a Triome outside of Niv in fair decks. Or a Sultai Triome in fair decks. Hi, Goober. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and play the Rogue Refiner. It gets us the same amount of energy as the Servant of the Conduit would. It might actually just naturally draw us into our land drop. Or into a land drop, which is nice. Honestly, yeah, we just take the Stalker. They'll, correctly so, block the Stalker, but again, it's just about generating energy, and less so about whatever damage can be done. There's even an argument to pump it and kill the Kinnan, actually. Do I pump it? Because there's no way when they... You know what? Yeah. I just said that you shouldn't go down on... Earlier, I said in the video you shouldn't go down on energy. Oh, get the fuck out of here. Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, that's cool. I maintain that my thought process was that there's no way that leaving a cannon on the board is gonna like result in good things. But there was no way I was gonna guess the Incubation Druid tapping into a heroic intervention was gonna be the play. That's fine. To be fair, how much does it need for that? 7, I think that's 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Okay. Non-human card on battlefield, rest at the bottom of library. We're honestly kind of trying to do a very similar thing upon further reflection. Might as well go ahead and attack. They have a brain in their skull. About to say you let it through. We're just trying to get in some damage here because I don't think this is gonna just, like we talked about earlier. Nothing fair comes out of a cannon. In reality, we're just doing the same thing. That's kind of a brick. Non-human creature card. Okay. Wasn't what I was expecting, but that'll do. I'll take a Genesis Ultimatum. Why not? Fucking... Oh, no. 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 That's not good. Yeah, I'll take the lands, I guess. Well, hold on. That's upon further inspection. It's not great. But it's not awful. We're going to go ahead and get rid of the Ken, because again, I'll keep beating this over the head. But I don't want more unfair things to happen. Next turn, how much mana do I have? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can cast an Ulamog. That's fair. What are you going to bounce? Because we're probably going to get rid of the Asika and the Yorion with the Ulamog. You know, I was like devastated that Genesis Ultimatum didn't like get the greatest hits in the world, but I think we're okay. Go ahead and play the Forest. Now I can actually attack also with my creatures. Well, maybe we get rid of the Death Touch and Lifelinker, because just Asika doesn't do anything that crazy. The Prismatic Bridge is the goofy shit enabler, as I like to call it. So yeah, I think we're going to get rid of the Yorion and the Prowler. This allows my board, get the fuck out of here. To be fair, I knew they had it. I knew they had it. Doesn't make it suck less. Just, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can start exiling the library. It's not nothing. And our... Okay, that's not great. We're going to go ahead and Valakut away our mountain. Oh, please. Please have the third copy. Come on, give me something here. That's something. Kinda. A little bit. Yeah, that's something. I was about to talk mad shit, but no, that's something. We can work with that. Sure, the island doesn't matter, so we're about to throw it away with a Spite. We're going to Spite away their Incubation Druid. Right, how much mana do you need? 5 mana. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay, so he can't... Oh, fucking right. Well, that's... I forgot. He gives other legendary creatures so that... Right. Okay, so this is not going great, but we're still alive. And Ulamog's going to start bonking them for a lot. And exiling a good amount of library. They are a Yorion deck. Clearly. So, by evidence of the Yorion on the board. So, the Ulamog attack isn't, like, as helpful. I mean, it's, like, it doesn't hurt, but it's not as helpful as it could be. Get the fuck out of here. They were fine. Why'd they scoop? Why did they scoop? They were fine. Whatever. That's fine. What do we bring in? These sweepers. Yeah, it's sweepers. Bring in the sweepers. Genesis Ultimatum come out. We are a little bit, as a result, a little bit more all-in on the Marvel hits being very good. As you saw in that game, you can just eventually sort of ramp and cast the spells naturally anyway. And to that end, a Genesis Ultimatum sort of functions as like another version of a Marvel style effect, like a slot machine effect. So that added, in theory, a form of redundancy that we have to take away to, like, you know, not die here. But you know, if it's the pursuit of not dying, we got to. Let's see what our opponent does. We have a good amount of energy generators. in the open. We'll burn down the house and a volcanic spite. Another new card that I didn't mention in the deck tech that sort of inspired this, as it is a basically strictly better version of what's the one with the eyeball that's like, it's basically it. Volcanic Spike is better than an older version of the card whose name I can't remember. Yeah, we'll play the Servant. Why not? Next turn we can play. Let's see. We'll play a second pathway on red. If nothing else, we can just play 2 Servants of the Conduit, and again progress our board state. So we got 2 colors, which is nice. I didn't see a whole lot of black in that deck to justify the, other than unless he has the Sultai Ultimatum card, which is possible. Anywho, original plan. We will go ahead and play the pathway. Take a turn off from damage. Play a couple Servants of the Conduit. This also, again, gives us more progress towards our goal of the 6 energy needed. As I hear my cat meowing. Yeah. What? Sorry? What? I've seen the card, I just forgot what it does. Enters or attacks, draw, discarding a number of land. When you do, deals twice that much damage to target creature. Yeah. Fine. It's like, fine. Yeah, we're good. I think we're going to go ahead and Stomping Ground, playing a Tune with the Ether. Give me an Islando, just for the sake. We will go ahead and attack. Maybe he blocks. We can. Alright, he blocks. We do lose a Servant, but we'll happily take it. That's a fine trade. Kozilek is a little too expensive right now, and we don't even have the colorless generators to cast them. If his board gets a little too crazy now, we do maintain and burn down the house for a sweeper, which is very nice. I'm honestly feeling like pretty in control, or at least in a good spot. Okay, okay, it's like not a bad card. Just like not the deck I was expecting. No reason to take unnecessary damage with a Stomping Ground there. What's the deck trying to shoot in? Like Thragtusk is good, but it's like Boomer good. Like it's like fine now, but it's like not great. Oh, sorry, what? What was that card? Restoration, 4 mana, return target creature to battlefield, spells kick you in life equals value, otherwise you lose that much life. Oh, okay, so it's like a reanimator. That's fine. We might pull the trigger, maybe? Let's see how much damage we take. To target creatures, so old Borborygmos and Fibblethip can only hit creatures. He will flicker the Thragtusk, which isn't great, but that is them leaning more into their board. So yeah, fuck it. We're going to go ahead and cycle a Triome. We do have a blocker. Not bad. I know! I hear you meowing. You're very cute. I'll complain a little bit. Okay. He does attack. Discard any number of land cards. Didn't discard any, that's something. In that case, we'll get rid of the Thragtusk now. So he, in theory, can't do too much goofy stuff. And there's a Yorion. Okay. Oh, it does do one on injured, I know. I mean, it's pretty good insurance against flooding, have to be said. Yeah, I think we're just pulling the trigger, I believe. Yeah. And it gets their whole board, too. And if we don't, we basically just die. So we'll go ahead and take the turn off a sweep. I have enough mana to cast most of the things in our deck. We have a large amount of energy, so we can harness lightning something if we need to. That's not great. Okay, if I hang on, let me do some math here. So I'm at 10, I go up 13. 13 5 is 8. So I can get rid of their Arasta and still have the ability to spin the wheel. I don't need more lands. No. Why am I getting such bad luck? I promise the deck is way better than this. Like, it's, I mean, again, we talked about it earlier in the video. Like, I mean, yeah, there's like luck invariance, but like it's a good deck, I promise. Just these particular games aren't great showing. As this deck was, admittedly not in this form, but an earlier build of this deck used to be like actually somewhat like popular and common the meta game many a moon ago. And I maintain that it's actually still pretty good. Ulamog is something, if I can cast it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can't cast it. I just die, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. Adapt 3 is 3 and 4. No. We're not dead. On board, anyway. We do have a big old handful of cards, which is great. Going down to 2. Please give me something. Cast. For love of all that is holy. That's not a thing I can cast. Isn't that neato? Well, no, it's permanent. Okay, no, we're live. We're live. I forgot I can hit permanent. I thought it was non-lands for a second. But no, I can technically survive a turn. I'm at 1 health. It's not great. I can't attack with the Ulamog. Otherwise I die to the spider token. Which is a sentence that I did not think I'd... Oh, God. So once again, I'm in do or die mode. Please, one time. Please give me something good. Okay, okay. A Marvel hit's good. We can do something with that. Give me something. Well, I was about to talk mad shit, but that's actually... That'll do. Star of Extinction. I guess getting rid of their red mana source, because I could see that providing some amount of burn. And Ulamog is indestructible, baby! Oh, please. I don't want to die. I want to win, please! Give me a W. We died a lot. Okay, Leyline Prowler. That's not death. Oh, I got a Kozilek, thank God. Full hand. Thank God. Okay. We can counter a wide variety of spells, to be honest. We're actually in a pretty good spot. Showing why Kozilek is really great. Not only if you just happen to cast him naturally, as the Aether Hubs do count towards the colorless casting cost for Kozilek, but also if you just hit him off the marble, it will oftentimes draw you 2-3 cards, if not more. Thank you, opponent, for giving me a win. To be fair, they were alive there, but I understand that that's a pretty insurmountable mountain to climb, especially when I start countering all of their response plays with my Kozilek. Oh, thank God. I'm so glad. I really like this deck, and I hope you guys do too. This is one of those... I don't often do, like, combo-y, style-y decks, if you want to call them that. But every once in a while, even I like some degenerate action. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you like my grab bag of content and would like to see more in the future. And if you have any sort of... Again, if you have some budget recommendations, I'll try to help, but this... I talked about in the deck tech. This deck is not budget friendly. It's just not. I mean, you might be able to make some flavor choices here, but like even the core of the deck is not the most like budget friendly thing. But with that all out of the way, don't forget to have fun and be kind to one another. See ya!